Welcome back to the Bitcoin Zodiac. February 17th opens a portal. Not a gentle one, an initiatory one. This is a month where fate feels tangible. We have a lot of incredibly important astrology coming up. So I want you to read this initially as a spiritual and nervous system forecast for the collective, and then I will walk through how we can expect this astrology to affect Bitcoin specifically. We start with the new moon and solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th. This eclipse lands at the final degree of Aquarius, the anaretic degree, a completion point. Aquarius governs collective consciousness, innovation, sovereignty, rebellion, technology, and the future. At 28 degrees, something reaches a tipping point. This is a karmic reset around freedom, decentralization, community alignment, your role in the collective. For listeners of this podcast, especially with our focus on Bitcoin, future systems, and financial independence, this eclipse is potent. Aquarius rules digital currencies and technological revolutions. This is a new chapter in how power is distributed. Eclipses remove what is outdated. They accelerate timelines. The invitation here is to ask, where are you still seeking validation from old systems while building new ones? Next, let's talk about Chinese New Year, shifting from snake to horse. The snake year is strategic, internal, intuitive, observant. The horse year is movement, fire, visibility, momentum. The shift is from coiled wisdom to action. Snake energy releases the redundant and gathers power quietly. Horse energy runs with it. If 2025 felt like positioning and preparation, 2026 initiates visible acceleration. Horse energy does not tolerate stagnation. It requires embodiment. You cannot overthink your destiny this year. You have to move. Also on February 17th, Venus conjuncts the North Node in Pisces. This is one of the softer but fated alignments of the month. Venus governs compassion, artistry, divine love, spiritual wealth, and in Pisces is exalted. When Venus meets the North Node, destiny is activated through relationships, money, self-worth, and creative offerings. Pisces dissolves ego attachments, so you may feel called toward a more devotional expression of love or purpose. On February 20th, Saturn conjuncts Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. This is important. This is historic. Saturn represents structure and Neptune represents dreams, illusions, spirituality. When they meet at 0 degrees Aries, a new 36-year cycle begins. This is the restructuring of belief systems. In Aries, the sign of identity and initiation, we are asked, what is real? What is fantasy? What will you build from scratch? Neptune dissolves illusions and Saturn demands accountability. This is where idealism meets reality. Visionaries who build grounded frameworks are the ones who thrive here spiritually. This is the end of passive dreaming. It is time to build your vision with discipline. Venus trine, Jupiter retrograde. This is grace. Venus in Pisces trine Jupiter in Cancer expands emotional fulfillment and intuitive wealth. Jupiter retrograde internalizes growth. This is not loud luck, it is heart-based expansion, family healing. Ancestral blessings, fertility in creative and financial realms. You may experience emotional clarity around what abundance actually feels like. Between February 25th and March 20th, Mercury retrogrades in Pisces. This retrograde is intuitive, dreamlike, non-linear. In Pisces, Mercury asks you to listen beyond logic, with themes of revisiting spiritual practices, rewriting creative projects, reassessing intuitive decisions, and clarifying financial confusion. This is absolutely not the time for rushed contracts, especially not vague agreements. It is a time to meditate before messaging, to reflect before reacting. Your dreams will be active, and this is a great time to journal them. On February 27th, Sun conjuncts the North Node in Pisces. This is a destiny activation. Venus on the 17th whispered it. The Sun on the 27th illuminates it. This will bring clarity around a spiritual calling, a relationship turning point, or a public expression of compassion or creativity. You may feel seen for your softness rather than your strategy. On February 27th, Mars squares Uranus. This is volatile. Mars in Aquarius square Uranus in Taurus correlates with technological disruptions and breakthrough innovations. Emotionally, this is restless energy where irritability rises and patience lowers. It's important to ground yourself physically. Avoid impulsive financial moves. This is electric energy and it has the power to break structures or spark genius.
I'm pausing this episode for just a moment to share with you one of our partners, the Sculpt Society. I'm obsessed with TSS, created by celebrity trainer Megan Roop. It's not just another fitness app, it's the most fun you'll ever have working out. You'll find sculpt, strength, and dance cardio all in one super accessible method that actually works. Whether you have 10 minutes or 50, want low impact sculpting or full body dance cardio, the Sculpt Society has you covered. Inside the app, you'll find over 900 on-demand workouts and weekly live classes, plus curated programs that meet you wherever you are, beginner, advanced, or even pre or postnatal. There's no complicated choreography, no guilt, just movement that makes you feel confident and strong in your own skin. You can stream from any device, anywhere in the world, and even download classes to work out offline. It doesn't matter whether you're in your living room or in a hotel room. So if you've been waiting for a sign to get back into your body and feel good, this is it. Click on the link in the description box and join the Sculpt Society to start your 7-day free trial today. You'll feel the difference after just one class. Let's get back into the episode.
Closing this period, we have the full moon and lunar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo governs systems, routines, health, refinement. This eclipse grounds everything that began on February 1, 7th. Aquarius initiated the vision. Virgo asks, where are the flaws? What needs cleaning up? What daily practice supports this future? This is a purification spiritually, it calls for embodied devotion, where ritual becomes routine and magic becomes method. February 2026 is a destiny corridor. Aquarius eclipse initiates collective evolution. Pisces activations open the heart. Saturn and Neptune reset belief structures. Virgo eclipse refines the execution. This is not chaotic energy without purpose. It is powerful restructuring energy. For you, this feels like a year where your visionary frameworks around sovereignty and spirituality move from idea to embodiment. The question is not whether change is happening. The question is whether you trust yourself enough to participate fully in it. Let's look at this window as it relates specifically to Bitcoin. There are, of course, overlapping themes, but there are some energy shifts to note for Bitcoin. February 17th through March 3rd, 2026 is a financial turning point window. Not just for markets, but for monetary consciousness itself. Think of this period as a corridor that opens with an Aquarius eclipse and closes with a Virgo eclipse. Vision first, then refinement. This is deeply relevant for Bitcoin. February 17th, 2026 brings a new moon and solar eclipse in Aquarius. Aquarius rules decentralization, technology, networks, collective power, and alternative systems of value. Bitcoin lives here astrologically. A solar eclipse is a reset. It accelerates timelines and exposes fragility in outdated systems. 28 degrees is the final degree of a sign, and it carries urgency and culmination energy. Financially, this suggests major narrative shifts around digital assets, structural conversations about monetary sovereignty, a climax in debates around regulation versus decentralization, and potential volatility in tech and crypto sectors. Eclipses do not always produce immediate price direction. They destabilize existing equilibrium. First, for Bitcoin's long-term evolution, this eclipse strengthens its ideological foundation. Aquarius energy favors distributed systems, and the collective psyche moves further toward questioning centralized control. As for short-term price behavior, we can expect volatility around the eclipse window. Large wicks, emotional trading, and liquidity sweeps. Avoid impulsive entries during the eclipse week. Let volatility settle before positioning. Long-term investors can use deep corrections during this window as accumulation zones. Then we have the Chinese New Year shift from snake to horse. Snake years are strategic, slow, calculating. Horse years are kinetic, visible, momentum driven. This transition signals a shift from consolidation to acceleration. Or in financial markets, this often correlates with faster cycles, sharper breakouts, and stronger directional runs. 2025 carried positioning and accumulation energy. 2026 begins to express movement. For Bitcoin, this supports trend expansion phases rather than slow grind ranges. The horse favors bold positioning over hesitation.
I'm briefly interrupting this episode to speak to you about one of our partners, Ritual Supplements, and in particular, Ritual Stress Relief. It's the first of its kind supplement powered by BioSeries technology. Unlike typical stress supplements that fade, Ritual's dual action formula gives you instant calm followed by all-day support. It works with your body's natural cortisol rhythm, helping you respond instead of react, ground instead of spiral. Its unique extended release blend delivers nature's calming adaptogens like ashwagandha and lemon balm when your body actually needs them. That means no crash, no fog, just clarity, focus, and nervous system balance. It's a sigh of relief that keeps going. So if you have spikes in your stress levels or are simply feeling dysregulated, give Ritual Stress Relief a try. Click on the link in the description box to find your perfect daily ritual. Okay, now that we found our Zen, let's get back to the show.
On the same day, Venus conjuncts the North Node in Pisces. Venus governs money and valuation. The North Node governs destiny and future direction. Pisces dissolves boundaries and increases emotional liquidity. Financially, this can manifest as capital flowing into visionary or spiritual narratives, emotional optimism in markets, idealization of assets. For Bitcoin, Pisces can inflate narrative-driven rallies and sentiment becomes highly influential. Be mindful here, as Pisces can create overvaluation through collective belief. Trade what you see on the chart, not what the narrative promises. Long-term conviction is fine, but avoid euphoric leverage in whatever form it prevents itself. Protect and build what you have rather than trying to multiply and overextend yourself. On February 20th, Saturn conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. This is the most important transit in this sequence for Bitcoin. Saturn represents structure, regulation, and accountability. Neptune represents illusion, dreams, and speculation at 0 degrees Aries. A brand new 36-year cycle begins. Financial interpretation of this aspect in one sentence is speculative illusions meet structural reality. If there are inflated narratives in crypto, equities, or macro markets, this conjunction exposes them. So for Bitcoin, this can mark a maturing phase with less fantasy and more infrastructure, less hype, more integration. Short term, this can produce a correction if markets are extended. Long term, this strengthens assets that survive the pressure. Risk management becomes critical around February 20. You must reduce leverage, tighten stops, and respect invalidation levels. On the 22nd of February, Venus trines Jupiter in retrograde. This is supportive capital flow energy. Jupiter expands and Venus attracts retrograde. Jupiter internalizes growth. This can create a temporary relief rally after any Saturn-Neptune correction. For Bitcoin, this may produce a strong bounce, renewed optimism, and institutional reallocation. This is definitely softer energy, but it is still emotional. Use rallies into resistance wisely and let structure confirm before assuming continuation. From February 25th to March 20th, Mercury is retrograde in Pisces. Mercury rules trade, contracts, and transactions. In Pisces retrograde, confusion increases, rumors spread, misinterpretation of data happens, and whipsaws become common. Crypto markets under Mercury retrograde often produce fake breakouts. Bitcoin traders need to expect aggressive liquidity hunts, sudden reversals, and sentiment to flip quickly. Now is the time to reduce trade frequency, trade higher time frames, and avoid overtrading noise. Long-term holders should avoid reacting emotionally to any short-term volatility. On February 27th, the Sun conjuncts the North Node. This illuminates destiny themes introduced earlier in the month. If Bitcoin or broader crypto makes a structural move around this time, it may define the narrative for the next 6 months. This can be a visibility moment, news, adoption announcements, regulatory headlines, or large whale buys or sells. Carefully watch the weekly close around this date. On the same day, Mars squares Uranus. This is a big volatility signal. Mars triggers and Uranus shocks. Historically, This aspect correlates with flash crashes, sudden breakouts, exchange issues, and sharp commodity swings. In crypto, this often creates extreme wicks, and if leverage is elevated in the system, liquidations will cascade. Do not hold oversized positions into February 27th. Allow the move to happen and then trade the aftermath. We close this window with full moon and lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3. Virgo governs systems, details, and efficiency. This eclipse closes the corridor opened on February 1-7. Financially, this exposes structural weaknesses, flaws in systems, overextended valuations, and operational inefficiencies. Bio, for Bitcoin's long-term evolution, this marks refinement, not complete collapse. Aquarius initiated the future vision. Virgo demands practical implementation. This could correlate with infrastructure upgrades, regulatory clarity, network improvements, or institutional process refinement. Price-wise, this can mark either a local top followed by correction or a local bottom followed by structured continuation. Look for confirmation. Virgo energy favors precision over emotion. Reassess portfolio structure around this eclipse, rebalance, clean up overexposure, and strengthen core holdings. A larger financial arc that this window illuminates is that February 17th to March 3rd is not random volatility. It is a structural reset phase. Aquarius pushes the collective toward decentralized futures. Saturn-Neptune demands reality over fantasy. Virgo enforces discipline. So for Bitcoin, short-term volatility is highly probable, medium-term maturation accelerates, and long-term ideological alignment strengthens. Stay aligned with long-term conviction while managing risk. This is a month where the market tests belief. The question is not whether Bitcoin survives. The question is whether participants are positioned with discipline rather than emotion. I know this cycle feels confusing in testing, but astrology gives us the roadmap and allows us to understand the buy behind the moves. Stay grounded and fearless throughout this time. Until next time, peace, love, and Bitcoin.